Hey, Connie.
Hey, glad to be back.
Yeah, glad to be back. So today we're gonna be, I think, going through. We're gonna try and hit a section basically today. So essentially, what we're gonna do is just as a history of what we've done, we've gone through this section, we've filled out the survey form, we've gone through this section, finished the tribute page, again finished this section, technical documentation page. So today we're going to be focusing on doing this, and hopefully this. Have a look through, and and then after that we'll be probably hosting one more session to finish this up, and then that's it. The responsive web design module will be completed.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. So let's just start the project with this one, and this is apparently what we're going to build. So in HTML, interesting. Okay, let's do it. So welcome to the CSS Variables Skyline project. So start by adding a doctype HTML declaration, as we usually have done. So doctype HTML. Okay. Wait, I needed to get into code, did I? Like this.
Yep.
And like this. Forgot what code I was in. Right. Okay. Cool. So that's done. So now we need to add an opening and closing HTML tags. So let's just do that and then close it off.
Oh, don't forget to set the language.
Yes. And lang equals n. Yeah, some of the stuff is really automatic. As you keep building it over and over, there's certain things that you would add. I guess this is where you would maybe start to think about creating some templates, which you can just use.
Yeah, great idea. Yep.
So next, add an opening head, and then let's just close that off. And the body. Cool, that's done. Right, so step 4. Within the head, nest a meta element with a char set of UTF-8. So within the head, we're going to nest a meta element, which I remember it's self-closing because I've asked what is it self-closing? I don't remember.
It is, yes.
Yes, because a million times I've asked you already, so hopefully that's kind of going to my head that most of the time it is self-closing. And let me see. So now we got title and cities. Usually it doesn't like spaces, so I'll try and keep spaces to a minimum. Title. And the link element, that link, so we straight away it's asking you to link the styles.css. I always forget how it is. What was it? Is it href? Possibly.
You need one more attribute in there.
I forget what it is. I'm gonna see what the code says. Rel. Oh, yep. Yes. Basically, it's like, I forget, what does rel stand for?
I think it's a relation.
A relation.
I think that was what it was. Yeah.
So in CSS, you can target everything with an asterisk. So we're not right now in our styles.css, so we're gonna add a border to everything. So first of all, we're gonna do star, and then given a border, and then 1 pixel, and solid black. Sorry. Cool. So that's give you a border over here. So we need the box sizing of border box. Border box. Cool. So you can see the body, it's the innermost box on your page. The box around it is HTML element. Make your body fill the whole viewport by giving it a height of 100 vertical height. I'm guessing remove the default margin. Okay, let's see. So first of all, from the element, make your body fill the whole viewport by giving a height of 100. So first of all, we need to focus on body. Then we need to focus on height, and then 100 VH. Then we need to remove the default margin by setting it to 0. And overflow should be hidden. Cool. So now we need to create a div element, which we've done like so many div elements and in the body. So with a class of class equals background buildings, and we're gonna do that. Perfect. So now give your background buildings an element of width and height of 100%. Yeah, full stop target class. Width should be 100%. Oh, this one. Height should be 100%. Cool. So now nest the div with a class of bb1 in the background buildings container.
That'd probably be another div.
Yeah, that's what I say. Class equals bb1. And they're actually getting you to work interactively now. So it's like now again you need to work on both the styles of CSS and the index HTML.
Look at that.
Yeah. So we need to do bb1.
Now you can see the relationship and how things are going. You've got your HTML over here, and this relates to this style over here. When you create your elements, you want to style them. Yeah, it's good. They're doing a good job of kind of bringing it all together. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because that way, you know, you've been working on one element first and then another with styles of CSS, which is kind of a good thing. I know when if you're gonna self-learn, and I mean, I don't mean following the course off by like one by one or by one, but what I'm just saying is when you actually you're basically encompassing all of these elements. By using this course, you kind of go through the elements individually and then go through it. But yeah, when you take up a job or anything like that, you'll be working on these simultaneously, right? So you'll be going through and making sure that the stuff that you're putting in for your index HTML also matches in the style CSS. Because if you don't do that at that point, you're probably gonna forget about it, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's a good thing that is actually progressing. How do you feel about it? Do you feel that's actually progressing well for you?
Yes, definitely. I think this is good because I'm trying to evaluate also students who really don't have much background in programming, be able to follow this, and how well does it kind of not just teach you how to write the line of code, but put it into the bigger context and help you to see what that bigger context is and how things relate. So this is really good. Yeah.
Let's see. So they want 4 div elements, each with their own class. So I'm just gonna do the first one, which is that. Right, that's done. Notice the width has changed a little bit as I put them in. Like if I didn't have that.
Remember that was that CSS property that combined all of the borders. I wonder if we'll be using that.
We had a hidden overflow in style CSS. I'm not sure. We set the margin to 0 as well. We use border box. Again, I'm not sure what it may have been. But yeah, give the parts of your building a width and height properties with these values. So if I go into so give the parts of building width and height properties. Okay, so they're now mentioning the class last, so I need to focus on that now. So class should be so BB1A would be width 70%, height would be 10%. BB1B would be width 80%, and height should be 10%. BB1C, the height will be, the width would be 90%, and the height will be 10%. So yeah, we're matching up the lines now. And BB1D should be this one's gonna be interesting. Width should be 100%, and height should be 70%. Or it's made no change. Right, okay. So let's just check my code. Oh yeah, that's why it hasn't made a change, because
there we go.
I class selector for any of these. So yeah, now I'm gonna be seeing all these changes. There you go. So center the parts of your building by turning a BB1 element into a flexbox parent. Use the flex. So we've learned before that in order to enable flex, we need to do display and then write flex, or is it flexbox?
Flex, display flex.
I think yeah, it's display flex, and then we're gonna use flex direction, which will be and align items, which will be, I guess, yeah, if I remember correctly, flex direction would be vertical and align items horizontal. Flex direction, so let's just write center for both of them. I'm not sure if that's how you spell center. I always get confused between the two. I think it's
is it flex direction? Is that let me look that up. I'm not sure. Is it I thought it was, what's row and column?
Oh, column.
Let me just look. I'm probably wrong. I don't use it a whole lot, but Okay, so you can do row reverse, column reverse, initial or inherit for flex direction.
Okay.
So would we want what, row maybe?
Column.
Column? That means we want everything like going up top to bottom.
Yeah, they say to center the children, so I guess you would use column to center it on flex direction. That's correct, but yeah. 1 second.
Yeah, it looks like column because row is just.
It's really dark in the UK very quickly. Turned on the lights. Okay, I'll move on to the next one.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. It says to use turn the BB1 element into a flex box parent. You do that with display flex, and then with the children, which are like BB1A through D, flex direction and align items. Did it pass? Hold on.
Yeah, it passed. Yeah.
It did. Oh, it did. Okay.
So I use basically, in order to pass it, I use flex direction column, and I use align item center.
Cool.
And display flex works. So.
All right.
Okay, so what do they want now? Now you have something that is resembling a building. So I guess this is a building in a way. We have to say it. You're ready to create your first variable. Variable declarations begin with 2 dashes and are given a name and a value like this. So variable name, value. In the rule for the BB1 class, create a variable named BB building color 1. And give it a 999 value. Interesting. So you have variables, a bit like Azure COI. Well, not really, but yeah, we use we are on Azure COI for my cloud contacts over there. We use ---- to basically specify a certain parameter. Or,
yep, that's right.
To use a variable, put the variable name in parentheses with var in front of them like this. Wherever value you gave the variable will be applied, excuse me, to wherever property you use it on. So add the variable building color 1 you created in a previous step as a value of background color property of the BB1A class. So we've created a variable called building color. So now we need to use, instead of variable name, we need to use building color 1. And that could do it.
So that's the value, var dash building color. That's the value side.
What we need to now do is set the background color as a property, and that's the var value that we have.
Very cool. I don't use these hardly at all, but that's a great thing to know.
Yeah, that is quite actually useful, especially again if you have a template, because if you have a template, then you can actually have your own kind of list sets of for a website that you need to develop. So you might have, like, for example, custom colors or specific logos or brands that you might want to use. For example, one of the better ones I would say as a use might be an image source, right? Because then you can just use that variable instead of trying to find the link of the image all the time.
Yeah. Yep. And if you need to change it, you can change it in one place.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
So,
Yep.
so you don't have to go through all your HTML. You just change it in that one place at the top, and then it'll come down and update it. So yeah, otherwise a lot of Control F and replace.
Right. Right.
Right. So use the same variable as the background color of the BB1B, BB1C to fill the rest of the building. So I'm gonna be lazy.
Yeah, me too. I'm following along with you this time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Glad you caught up. Right. Okay, cool. Let's see. So change the value of your variable from 999 to, so this is what we were talking about. So essentially, if you change it in one place, we're going to change the whole color of the building, which is pretty awesome. That's kind of how
It should
be set up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slightly troll through some websites and have a look if they've used just open up any website, press F12 and see if they've used that variable. And okay, so your first building looks pretty good now. There's 3 new div elements in the background buildings container. So new divs. Right, again, I'm going to be slightly lazy. I've read this so many times now that I'm kind of okay writing divs.
Yeah.
So I think you get to a point eventually that you think, you know what?
You don't need to learn it and get in your hands anymore. You've got it in your hands. You can just, definitely. Yeah. I think you put your time in.
Right. So give the new buildings. Be 10. Width would be 10%. Height should be 50%. Dot BB3 should be should be 55%, and BB4 should be width 11%, and height should be 58%. What did I screw up? Give the width and height of you'll be using almost. So alpha will be responsive. Did I width is 11, height is 58. Width is 10%, height is 55. That's what I screwed up. So yeah, sometimes I try and check the code without actually it telling me what's wrong. So it's a good way to learn also.
Yeah.
So the buildings are currently stacked on top of each other. Add the properties display flex, align items, flex, align items, flex end, and justify content space evenly Okay, cool. So now I have like a couple buildings, I guess. So the buildings are too spaced out. Squeeze them together by adding 2 empty div elements onto the top of the background buildings element. 2 more at the bottom of it and 1 more in between BB3 and BB4. These will be added as evenly spaced elements across the container, effectively moving the buildings closer to the center. By adding 2 empty div elements to the top. So the background, right? So yeah, well, I guess over here, div. So they want 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. I think that's what they say.
Yeah.
Two more, and 1 more in between BB3 and BB4. There you go.
Yeah.
So we need to now create a new variable below the other one called building color 2 and give it a value of 66cc199, then set it as the background color of BB2. So let me see. So we need to create a new variable, which called. So because BB1, that's what that's our parent is, right? So essentially over here we would use building color 2, and the property should be cool. Yeah, that passes. So I don't see anything yet, but it didn't work. You should add a fallback value to a variable by putting a second value where you use a variable like this. So if we did that, and then fallback, no, wait, that's not. Is that? Yeah. Yeah, that kind of defeats the point of it, really, in a way, for me, because it's like, well, maybe your fallback value could also be a variable, actually.
Yeah, I think it probably can be.
Yeah, but I guess for now we will set fallback value, and then what do they want me to do?
Oh wait, I think fallback value is just a placeholder name. So you have building dash color 2, comma, the word green. Instead of the fallback value is not like, yeah, that's not a method.
Oh,
so
I see. But could you, no, the fallback value is essentially, it doesn't work. Okay, cool. I get it. There you go. That should work. No, it doesn't. Why doesn't?
Hold on. Yeah, because it needs to be inside your parenthesis, the word green.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, then it kind of can
There
work.
it is.
There you go. So create a new variable below the other ones named building color free and give it a value of CC. So if I did building color free and I did and give a fallback value of pink. So we need to now set it to BB free. What we did, building color free. Cool. So now step 25. Because the variables you declared in a BB1 do not cascade to the BB2 and BB3 sibling elements. That's just how CSS works. Because of this, variables are often declared in a root selector. That is the highest level selector in CSS. Putting your variables there will make them usable everywhere. Add the root selector at the top to the top of the style sheet and move all the variable declarations there. Yeah, perfect. So that's what I would expect to have. Cool. So I'm just going to take that out.
That makes it easy because now all of your variables are in one place and they're at the top, which is how it should be in with programming for the most part.
Right. So now we have this color. So yeah, it's not pink anymore. It's actually going to be, yeah, correct. Okay, now that you've worked the bugs out and the buildings are the right colors, you can remove the fallback values in the two places that we use. Go ahead and do that now. So we don't need pink and we don't need green. Perfect. Right. Create another variable named building color 4 and give it a value of that. Building color 4. I wonder if someone who works a lot would actually be able to identify or not. Really.
They may be able to tell you kind of like, is it a red or is it a green, kind of a thing, by looking at it, but that's just a guess.
Yeah.
Is it a blue?
Then use it to fill in the last building. Right, so I need to do BB1D, no, not BB1D, BB4, and that should have a background color of var building color 4. I misspelled color this one. There you go. Cool. Right, so step 28. The background buildings are starting to look pretty good. Create a new div below the background buildings element and give it a class of foreground buildings. And then we're gonna close that div. Cool. So you want the foreground buildings container to be to sit directly on top of the background buildings element. Give it a width of 100% and height of 100%. Position should be absolute, and the top should be 0. Cool, that's done. So nest 6 div elements within the full round buildings element. Class equals FB1. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. So FB stands for foreground building. There will be 6 more in the background. So let's just go ahead with that. Right. So yay! What fun. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. It will be 10%. Height will be 60%. Right. FB2 would be, the width would be 10% and the height would be 40%. FB3 would be 8% and the height would be 45%. FB4 would be, I marked up FB3. FB3 should be 10% and 35%. Well, this should be, FB4 should be 8% and height should be 45%. FB5, the width would be 10% and the height would be 33%. And FB6 would be 9% and 38%. Did you finish your section?
I'm following right along with you, so thank you for talking out loud because I'm just listening for what you're saying, which is what our students will do when they're watching, right?
Yeah.
So it's very helpful.
Cool. Right, so step 32, add the same display, line items, and justify content properties and values to foreground buildings. So let's just do, it asks for the same display, flex, and line items. Okay, don't make it that way. Oh wait, I used the wrong variable over here. This is the one I needed to use. Cool. Right, so you should optimize your code, move the position and top properties and values from foreground buildings to background buildings. So we need to move the position and top from foreground buildings to background buildings. So we get rid of that, and then select both background buildings and foreground buildings there, effectively applying those styles to both elements. Right, okay, so basically it's telling me to get rid of this and just, right. Cool. So we have more on the front and more on the back. So now that you did that, you can delete the old foreground buildings declaration and all of these properties since they aren't needed anymore. That's what I was gonna do. Right. In the previous step, but yeah, in this one, yeah. So the skyline is coming together. Fill in the background color property of the foreground buildings. Use your building color 1 variable to fill in FB3 and FB4. So let's just do that before going through it. So FB3 and FB4 should you use building color variable 1. So we will set background color to be var background building color 1, and that should be fine. Right, the FB4 will be exactly the same thing, so I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to go into FB4 and paste it in. Right, so I've got FB3 and FB4 as the building color 1. Now I need to do building color 2 for FB5. So I'm just going to paste in the same variable I had. I'm just going to use building color 2 instead. And then FB6, I guess. No. Oh, so building color 3 for FB2 and FB6. So building color 3 and FB6 would be colors. Wait, 3. Right, and now we need to build build-in color 4 for FB1. Cool, that's all coming nicely together. One sec, Connie, I'm just gonna get some water.
Sure thing.
Right. Okay, so where are we going? Check the code. It didn't. Oh, sorry. Squeeze the buildings together again by adding 2 empty div elements within both in the top and bottom of the foreground buildings. So div, and if I did another, then okay, I need 2. So that's squeezing the buildings together. Oh, and one more in between FB2 and FB3. Cool. So move the position of FB4 relative to where it is now by adding a position of relative and left of 10% to it. Do the same for FB5 by using right instead of left. So let's see what we're doing. Move position of FB4 relative to where it is now by adding a position of relative. So we're going to add a position to be relative and left 10%. And do the same for FB5, but use right instead of left. Right, so right should be exactly the same, but so for FB5 we need to add position. Then we need to use relative, and then we need to do a right and write 10%. Okay, so your code is starting to get quite long. Add a comment above the FB1 class that says foreground buildings. FB stands for foreground buildings. Foreground building. So to help people understand your code, above the BB1, so we need to first of all add a comment above the FB1. Let's see, so where is FB1? Here, so /star /, and then we'll add this comment. Okay, so denote that we have this, and then what else do we need to do? We need to add above the BB1 class, add another comment which says background buildings. BB stands for background building. So BB1, and let's just comment it again, //star, and to finish it, // Yeah, you have different ways to comment, but yeah, in HTML, is it mainly this, or are there any other methods of commenting? Do you know?
If there is any other methods of commenting?
Yeah.
In CSS, that's how to comment. In HTML, it is different.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, so there are two different. It could be in CSS or it could be in HTML.
Yep. Different. Yep.
Cool. Okay. So create a new variable in root called window color. So just create a new variable in root, which is going to be called window color 1, and give it a value of black. And let's just check the code. That's fine. Right. So gradients in CSS are a way to transition between colors across the distance of an element. They are applied to the background property, and the syntax looks like this. So gradient type, color 1, color 2. In the example, color 1 is solid at the top. Color 2 is solid at the bottom. And in between, it transitions evenly from one to the next. In BB1A, add a gradient type linear gradient. So we need to add we need to add background, and then linear gradient with the building color. Building color. Oh, hold on a second. This is what I'm starting to get slightly confused. I know you have linear gradient. Oh, sorry. You have var building color 1 and var window color 1. Hoping that's it. So let's see. So if I look at this, let's just check the code. Nope. So I need to give a background, a linear gradient starting from the building color 1. Is it? I need to add more brackets. So you should give the background a linear gradient and in a window color 1.
You scroll up a little bit there so we can see there. So
oh, hold on. I see what's happened.
Yeah.
So actually, is it? So let me just. Oh, I see what's happened. Yeah. So if I do linear gradient, so I have background. I have. I think I'm missing just a comma. Yeah, there you go. Cool. So that's got me a linear gradient over here. Essentially, if we take it to the diagram, it's basically saying background. They're not showing you the full picture over here. Like you set a pressure or property, so maybe I would have like background over here, and then the gradient type. So my gradient type in this case is linear gradient, and then I have a bracket, which basically is this kind of bracket, and then I need to specify what color it is, and because we use var, we also need another bracket with building color 1, but then we need a secondary color with a comma, and then color 2 will be this one.
Yeah, that was kind of tricky.
Well, we got that. So you step 41, you want to add the same gradient to the next 2 sections. Instead of doing that, create a new class selector called bb1 window and move the height and background properties and values from bb1a to the new class selector. So let's just do that. Instead of doing that, create a new class selector called bb1 window and move the height and background properties and values from bb1a to the new class selector. Okay, so I need bb1 window move the height and background to here. From bb1a, you should move. Oh, they want move. So when I say move, that means get rid of.
Except you need the color. You still need background color, I think. Unless that goes with the background. That would seem to make sense that it would, right?
Yeah, but you know how they can be very specific about these things. So let's just stick with background color, remove this, and let's see what happens. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's how they want to do it. Okay. So add the new BB1 window class, the BB1A, BB1B, and BB1C elements. Okay, so is it comma? Is there
It's a space, just a space.
B1 window? That's cool. Coming together.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need the height of background color properties in BB1A or BBC, so go ahead and remove them. Cool. Right, so add the linear gradient to BB1D of orange as the first color, building color 1 as the second, and window color 1 as the third. Remember to use gradient on a background property. So let's do it again. So background, and we would then have a linear gradient. Then we would open up, and then we would have a color 1, which would be what would my color 1 be? They say orange. Then we have back var building color 1. Oh wait. And what is it? Window color 1 as the third. So that's BB1D.
Some reason your window color.
Oh no, yeah, I need to add it here. Because yeah, it's at the end of this, right? So yeah, but for some reason, I know it's like, oh, I'm not, or have we not specified BB1D yet? Maybe we haven't, so because this should be BB1D, right?
Mine's looking. Mine has it. Mine passed also, but it's like got a. Oh, that's interesting. For some reason, I'm seeing your YouTube channel window with power cut. Those guys look scary. Must be Halloween.
Yeah. Well, you seen a different change on yours?
Yeah, like the bottom div there at of the top. You see the top 3 that have the purple, and then the bottom one, yeah, where your cursor is, it's orange. It's the orange color. So what's the problem there? That you're spelling it right. Background, linear, gradient, orange, bar building color 1. It looks right how you have it.
Yeah, even the path. Is it something to do with the space?
Everything else looks exactly the same. Linear gradient. Move the comma, the first open parenthesis right after the word gradient. There's no space there. Get rid of that space. There.
All right, let's see.
The space again.
The code pass, but we found a bug. Yeah, so you that's why. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like so confused. It's shown as white. Why is that?
Yeah.
But yeah. It's a little hidden behind the foreground buildings, but you can see the free color gradient there. Since you are using that now, remove the background color property from BB1D. So does background then override background color? So if you had a gradient in background, would that override or will you have background color?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're basically specifying, instead of color, you're saying the whole background is using a gradient. It's going from these colors, it's fading into other colors, so forth.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. So here it will transition from color 1 to color 2. So we can specify where we want a gradient transition to complete by adding it to the color like this. So gradient type, color 1, color 2. So there might be a certain percentage that we might want to do. So in this case, they want 0 and 20% of the element. So here, add 80% to the building color 1 of the BB1D, so we can see in action. So if we didn't have it, it's there, but if we put 80%, orange fills more of the gap. And cool. So remove orange from BB1D and change the 80% to 50. This will make building color 1 solid from the top half, and then transition to window color 1 for the bottom half. Okay. So nest 2 div elements within the BB2 and give a classes of BB2A and BB2B. So I'm just going to copy that. BB2B. Cool, so that's added. So give BB2B a width and height of 100%. So if I did width would be 100. Wait, what am I doing? BB2B width would be 100%. Height would be 100%. To make the building, to make it fill the building container, you will add something on the top of it a bit later. Okay, so create a new variable in root named window color 2. And with a value of 8CD9B3. Yeah. So gradient transitions often gradually change from one color to another. You can make the change a solid line like this. So let me see where we got. First color 40%. Add linear gradients to BB2B that uses built-in color 2 from 0% to 6%. Okay, let's go and type out linear gradient first. So again, background, then linear gradient. Then what we need to type is built-in color, so var built-in color 2 and then they want me to write 0%, and then comma, then same thing, but then once I finish writing it, I need to write 6%. Then I do var the window color too, and that'll be 6% to color 2 would be to 9%. Right, let's check that. And that's gone through. We can see the hard color change at the top of the section. Change the gradient type from linear gradient to repeating linear gradient. So add repeating hyphen at the end of it. This will make the 4 colors of your gradient repeat until it gets to the bottom of the element. Right, so this is one that we've been working on, and as we can see, it's repeating all the way down, giving you some stripes and saving you from adding having to add a bunch of elements to create them. Cool. In the next few steps, you're going to use some tricks with CSS borders to turn the BB2A section into a triangle at the top of the building. First, remove the background color from BB2 since you don't need it anymore. So we don't need the background color. So we'll carry on with that. Add these properties to BB2A. Yeah, copy and paste. Can't be bothered. Right, where are we going? So Control C, and there we are. So after you add these, you will see a thick border on an element gives you some angles where 2 sides meet. You're going to use that bottom border as the top of the building. So next, remove the width and height from BB2A and change the border left and border right to use 5 instead of 1. Border left and border right. The element will now have 0 size, and the borders will come together in the middle, as we can see here. So BB2A, next change the 2999 of BB2A to transparent. Okay, cool. Nice top of the building. Step 57, remove the margin and border top properties and values from BB2A to turn it into a triangle for the top of the building. So we don't want border, top, and margin. So let's just get rid of these. Cool. Right, finally on a border bottom property of BB2A, change the 1 vertical width to 5 VH and change the 00 color to your building color 2 variable. So let's have a look at that. BB2A. Change the 1v. Finding on a border bottom property of BB2A. Yeah, change to 5VH to your, and now we need to serve our building color 2. There we are. We now have a
Nice.
triangle just like that. So on to the next building. Create a new variable called window color 3 in root. And give a value of that. Okay. The D98CB3.
You have Windows. Yeah.
All right, Windows.
Yep.
Perfect. Right. So right, okay, cool. So repeating your gradient, then we got this. Then we need to set the direction. The direction should be 90. Okay, so now when the next color would be right, so the next one is raw building color frame, and in here we would add for the first 2 colors. Right, so that should be fine. So raw building color frame. Right, now what we need to do is we need to go into window color 3. Oh, I need to set a var again. Window color 3. When you don't specify a distance for a color, it will use the values that make sense. In this case, the first 2 colors will default to 0% and 7.5% because it starts at 0, and 7.5 is half of the 15%. So is that all what they want us to do?
You need to.
Oh,
I
at
think
15% for the third. That's what we haven't done. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, now this explanation makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, starts at 0, then 7.5% for this one, and then 15% for this. So we don't need background color. The next building will have 3 sections, and that's 3 div elements within the BB4, and give it again BB4A, B, and C. Let's see. BB4, A, B, and C. Perfect. Right. Next step, give the new div elements these width and heights values. Yeah, what did I just create? BB4A?
BB4A, B, and C.
And B and C. Okay, cool. Right. So, right, and now I need to do width and height from B and C. So width would be next one would be 80% for width and 5% for height for BB4B, and is it for BB4C? It will be 100% and 85% for width and height respectively. Now using their terminology, right? Okay. Step 63, right, so that's done. Step 64, remove the background color property and value from BB4 and add it to the new free new section. So essentially,
Interesting.
right, that's done. So you want BB4 to share the properties of BB1 that center the sections. Instead of duplicating the code, create a new class above the background building comment called building wrap. Leave it empty for now. This class will be used in a few places to save you some coding. So BB4 to share the properties of BB1. So create a new class above the back called building wrap. And leave it empty. Cool. So move the display, flex, direction, and align items and values from BB1 to the new building wrap. That's done. Right, add the new building wrap class to the BB1 and BB4 elements. This will apply the centering properties to the buildings that need it. So if we add the new building wrap class to the BB1, so to the BB1 and BB4 elements. So BB1 would be building wrap. Building 2 would have building wrap.
Just building, I think just 4, 1 and 4.
Oh, 1 and 4. I misinterpreted that then. Okay. Cool. That's done. Right. So create a new variable called window color 4. And give a value of 8CB3D9. So that's fine. Right. So next 4 new div elements within BB4C, give them the all class of BB4 window. So we need to now if they want our class of BB4 window. All right, hold on. So if I take all of this, copy that, call this BB4 window. Cool. So I've added 4 new developments within the BB4 building. So give the BB4 window class a width of, so we first all need to write the class of BB4 window. Then we need to give a width of 18%. Then we need to give a height of 90%. And then we need to give so we need to add background color, which will be window color 4, which will be var window color 4. Cool, that's done. Right, so the windows are stacked on top of each other at the left of the section, behind the purple building. Add a new class below, building wrap, called window wrap, and add these properties to it. So this will be used in a few places to center window elements vertically and even space them in their parents. So if we go into this, add a new class below building wrap called window wrap. So building, window wrap. And add the following properties to it. Okay. So yeah, we're doing display flex, align item center, and justify content to be spaced evenly. Right, so add the window wrap class to the BB4C element. So it'll be the window wrap. So the BB4C element, which will be this. So now we can go on. Looks good. On top of the foreground, onto the foreground buildings, turn the FB1 building into 3 sections by nesting 3 new developments within it. Give them the classes of FB1A, FB1B, and FB1C in that order. So let me see. So 3 sections. Give it A, B, C. Right, give FB1B a width of 60% and a height of 10%, and FB1C a width of 100% and a height of 80%. So first of all, we need to write FB1B as a class. Add the width to be 60%. Give the height to be 10%. And then we need to give FB1C class which is going to be a width of 100% and then a height of 80%. Cool, that's done. So add the build and wrap class to the FB1 element to center the sections. So we need to add to the build and wrap to the FB1 element. Right, it's centering over here. Right, next section will be move the background color property and value from FB1 to FB1B. So moving the background color from FB1 to FB1B. Right, don't worry about the space at the bottom. Everything will get moved down later when you add some height to the element at the top of the building. Add a repeating linear gradient to FB1C. So background, repeating linear gradient to FB1C with a 90-degree angle. Building color 4 to be 0%, so I need to add my vars, var. And then we need basically the same thing, but we actually are going to go into 10% on the next one. Then what we're going to do is transparent from 10% to 15%. So that will mean we need to write transparent.
Yeah.
And then that should be 15%.
Do you need 10 and then 15?
Well, I have 10 under what?
Transparent.
Yeah, because I already have specified. Well, I don't know, actually. Maybe I might need a transparent of 10.
Yeah.
Add it.
To and from like that. I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, that passes. Right. Step 78. Add a repeating linear gradient to the FB1C below the one that's there. Use your building color 4 from 0 to 10% and window color 4 from 10% and 90%. Right. Okay. So we need to add a repeating linear gradient to FB1C below the one that's there. Use your building color 4 from. Well, haven't we added already?
So I think this is like we have one background property, and then it's going to take this list, the first one, comma, the second one, but it's on the same background property. It looks like that's how. And I've not done this before. I'm just guessing.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, I should read the explanation first. I'm sorry. Right. So you can add multiple gradients to an element by separating them with a comma like this. Gradient 1, colors, and then comma, and then gradient 2 like this. So essentially, we already have a background property, so that's fine. So what we need to do then is just add a comma here. And then we need to write again, repeating this linear gradient. And then over here, we will use var building color 4, and it will be 0%. Var building color 4, which will be 10%. Window color 4. So again, window color 4, which will be 10%. And again, var window, start windows again, window color 4, which will be 90%. Right, okay, cool. It's starting to look more of like a building of windows and right, let's see. You're going to use some more border tricks for the top section. Add a border bottom of a value of So we need to add so FB1A should have border bottom of 7 VH solid for building color 4. Right, okay, that's cool. When you increase the size of the left and right borders, the border at the bottom will expand to the width of the combined left and right border widths. Add 2VW solid transparent at the value of border left and border right properties of FB1A. So we need border left, which will be 2VW solid transparent, and border right would be 2VW solid. Right. Okay, on to the next burden. Nest 2 developments within FB2 and give them classes of FB2A and FB2B. Cool, that's done. So give FB2A a width of 100% and a height of 75%. Let me see about that. So width of 100%. So width would be 100%, and FB2B that'll be width 100% and height to be 75%. Cool, that's done. Right, so next 3 developments within FB2B and give them a class of FB2 window. What's it? Within and give them a class. Oh, I've written this. Yeah, I would have actually written them as FB2B window, not FB2 window. That doesn't make sense. But there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because usually you just wanted to reference whatever you've referenced above. Right,
Yeah.
anyway. Add your window wrap class FB2B to position the new window elements. So okay, that's done. Give the FB2 window elements a width of of 22%, height to be 100%, and background color to be for window color 3. That should be it. Cool. Okay, step 86. Move the background color property and value from FB2 to FB2B to just color the section and not the container. So we need to move it from FB2 to FB2B. Done. This is the building we're working on. So for FB2A, add the border bottom. And vertical height solid var building color 3. Border left, which will be 1 VW solid. And border right should be 1 VW solid transparent. Cool, that's done. Right, sub 88. For the next building, there's 4 div elements within FB3 with classes of FB3A, FB3B, and FB3. Yeah, sorry, just doing this over and over does make you feel like, oh my god.
You're definitely gonna, get the hang of this. It's gonna be in your sleep kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be dreaming about FB3As and FB3Bs. We needed this again. Yeah, that's a bit weird. Okay, there's 4 div elements within. Oh wait, I'm mistaken.
AB. Oh, see, just when we thought we had the pattern down.
Yeah, they try and switch you around now. So
they must have heard you were going to say that, or knew you were going to say that. It's like, we're going to just trick them.
No, this must be the experience of all the students, right? So they must.
Don't ever think you know what it's going to say. Make sure you read it. That's their point here.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I have with like exams as well. It's just like, don't look at the patterns or anything. Just try and answer to whatever they say. So.
Yeah. Read carefully. I was thinking the same thing you were. I was on the same wavelength. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's done. So now give the FB3A element a width of F for stop FB3A. That will be width of 80%, height of 15%, and then full stop FB3B should be width of 100%. Height should be 35%. Remove the background color property and value from FB3 and add them to FB3A and FB3B.
Andrew, I'll be right back. Oh, I have to let my dog in. I think he's wondering where people are.
No worries. Remove the background. So we need to remove the background color from FB3 and we need to add it to FB3A and add it to FB3B. So we're getting there. Right, step 91. Add your building wrap class to the FB3 element to center the sections. So we're going to just go here and build and wrap. Cool. Let's 3 new div elements in your FB3A element. And give a class of FB3 window. Cool, we are there. So step 93. Give the FB3 windows elements a width of 25%, a height of 80%, and use your window color 1 variable as a background color value. So we need to give FB3 window a width of 25%, height of 80%, and window color 1 to be background color. Oh, sorry. Background color would be var window hyphen window color 1. Okay, add your window wrap class to the FB3A element to center and space the windows. So what we need to do now is add it to the FB3A element, the window wrap. Cool, so that's turned there. So with CSS variables, you can change values without searching everywhere. In the style sheet, change the window color 1 value to wherever that is. So let's have a look. Hashtag BB99FF. Cool, so let's change it to this. So only 3 more buildings to go. Next 2 new div elements. And give them classes of FB4A and FB4B. In that order, remember that you sort of flip the location of FB4 and FB5, so it's the rightmost purple building you're working on now.
Okay.
This one.
Yep.
Give FB4B a width of 100%, height of 89%. Cool, that's done. Right, add your building color 1 variable as a value of the background color property of FB4B, then remove the background color from FB4. So we need to add a background color. That should be var building color 1, and then remove the background color from FB4. That's done. So there's 6 div elements within this. So let me just copy that again. Paste this, call it FB4 window. Copy this, and then basically paste it 6 times. Cool, that's done. Give the FB4 window elements a width of 30%, height of 10%, and border radius of 50%. So if we now set FB4 window to be width to be 30%, height to be 10%, and border radius to be 50%. Right, we're good with this one. So fill in the window with your secondary color for this building. Also add a margin of 10% to give the window some space. So secondary color. So I'm guessing it's building color 2. Right. And then we need to also give it a margin of 10% as well. What have we done?
Oh, because they're windows. I think those round ovals are windows.
Oh, window, not building. Sorry, my bad. That's right.
I was kind of stumped on that one too.
And a background color of
That's what you have there, background color.
Oh, it says window color 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the secondary color is really confusing. Like,
yeah.
Okay, add display flex and flex wrap to the window container. So let's just add that in. Okay, wrap. Cool, that's done. Right, so the building is going to have another triangle on top. Give the top section a border or top. Yeah. So what building are we actually working on?
So was this FB4?
Possibly.
Well, but that's up there.
Well, no, we were working on something else. Then it was FB4 window. That's what we just worked on. So it must be FB4. So let's just work on FB4. So
there's already a class up for FB4 that they didn't put us in it. I wonder.
Yeah, that's really strange. This is like, well, I mean, I would have like literally put it in here rather than put it in here. Maybe they want you to do it there. I don't know. Well, I could do it here, but they're probably gonna not like it. They probably would expect a second one. But I don't know. Maybe they might get you to change it. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah, really, if we were gonna do it, it would be just
FB4. I cheated. I looked. It's FB4A.
Okay. Right, yeah, because I don't know. There's so many. 4A equals, and then it will be border top should be 5VH solid transparent. Border left should be 8VW solid. Actually, yeah, that's because I've just noticed a pattern because you have FB4 here, right, and then FB4B, so you just fit it in, I guess. Hold on, border left of AVW solid, and uses your building color variable as a color. Okay, cool. So raw color 1.
We're on building 4. Oh, that passed? Oh,
Yeah,
so it's 1.
FB4A. Yeah, I'm building color 1. On to the next building. Yay. I think it's 2 more buildings left to go. So it's a green one in the foreground. Give it a repeating linear gradient. So we need to set a background color. So just a background of repeating linear gradient within your building to be with your building color from 0% to 5%. Right, so repeating linear gradient, and then we were going to go into repeating linear gradient, and then we're going to do was a building color from 0 to 5 and transparent from 5 to 10%. Okay, so I'm guessing they want var, and then it'll be, is it building color 2 I am going to go with.
So how do we know what colors to choose, which number of colors to
Oh,
choose?
I went with this one. You see, I'm working on back FB5, and in terms of the pattern, I just decided that, you know what, background color 2 is probably what they're looking for, because we're going to be getting rid of background color.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
And then that will be 0%. Then same thing, we're gonna do, yeah, I put the first open so it will come up. And this will be 5%. Then I need to write transparent to be 5%, and then again transparent to be 10%. Yeah, okay, cool. Now it's going to get me to remove background color. Nope. Okay, it's gonna get me to add another repeating color linear gradient. Okay, so repeating linear gradient would be given 90 deg direction. Use your building current math from, so var, I am gonna guess with, it's gonna be building color 2, so just gonna keep going. And then we need to set 0%. Then same thing. And that will be 12%. Then it will be var dash window color. Is that window color 1 or 2? I'm gonna go with 1. No, 2. What makes sense?
I really
2, I think, because look. If you look at this building, right, we're using this kind of color. If we were using the 1 that's purple, that belongs over here on these buildings, right? So I'm gonna go with 2.
Yeah.
There you go. And there are my windows. Right. 106. You don't need the background color. There you go. That's what I was expecting. So remove it. Check your code. Finally, you made it to the last building. I'd add a repeating gradient of 90. So again, background, and we will do repeating linear gradient. And we're going to add the direction to be 90 deg. Then we need to add the building color, which is in this case should be free. We're going to do var building color free, then, and that should be 0%. var building color free, and that will be 10%. And then we need transparent, which should be 10%, and we need another transparent, which should be 30%. There you go. Okay. So when I add another repeating gradient to the building, make it the same as the one you just added, except don't add the 90 deg direction and use your window color instead of the transparent colors. So, okay. So var wait, I think I need to write repeating linear gradient again. Repeating linear, is that what you were gonna say, Connie?
Yeah.
Right. Repeating linear gradient. That will be. We need to give it a. That's their way of spacing it out, not mine. But var, it'll be window color 2, 3, possibly 3. I think.
Yeah. Well, probably, since if we're following the same pattern.
Yeah, and use instead of the
Color 3.
So 0%. Right, so by default it's 0, right? So you don't even need to write 0.
Yeah, because they've been removing them as we work through. When we put 0, it comes back up. Yeah.
And that should be 10%. And oh, wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm meant to use building color first.
Building color first. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna be doing var window color 3, and I will make that to be 10%, and var window color 3, and that should be 30%. Cool. Right, that's done. So we go to the next one. You can remove the background color for now. Okay, cool. So we will do that. And check your code and go to the next one. So, okay, the buildings are done. Go back to the star selector and remove the border. Yeah. Okay, so now, nice. Pretty cool. So now, I guess, yeah, we need to work on the background, right? So we've worked on like the buildings, but Yeah, so now we need to add sky as a second class to the background buildings element. You're going to make a background for the skyline. So where do they want me to? As a second class. So we'll put that here and put sky over here. Give the sky class sky class radial gradient.
That's probably another background.
Yeah, it's a background. It's a background. Radial gradient, and that will be it won't. We want hashtag FFCF33, and that'll be 0%. I still write 0 just because.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think 0 is still seen, right? Otherwise, you're gonna expect the developer or whoever to be basically picking up on the fact that it's a default of 0.
Yeah, it's just more clarity. I think the more clear you can be, the better.
Yeah, it's more human readable code rather than machine readable code.
Yeah.
So again, we need to add the same one to be 20%. Then we need to do hashtag FFF66. That'll be 21%. And then maybe EEFF 100%. Cool. That's done. At the top of the sky gradient color list, where you would put a direction for the gradient, add circle closest corner at. Okay, circle closest corner at 15. Ah, that's pretty cool. So what if I wrote, wait, circle farthest, just, I'm guessing here. No, I don't. And surely there must be closest. Oh wait, that's why I have a dash. Yeah, let's try farthest. Or I'm not sure how you spell it. There you go. Ish. So, or top. Does top right? No.
Closest corner.
What else is there? We have farthest.
Farthest? Do you try furthest? FUR?
No, farthest worked actually.
Farthest did work?
It made this.
Huh.
Well, closest.
Farthest. Yep.
Makes this. So yeah, so I've got a few different ones. So yeah, that's a thing.
Neat. That is so cool. Such a great effect.
A media query can be used to change styles based on certain conditions, and they look like this. Add an empty media query at the bottom of your style sheet with a media with a condition of max width. So we want empty. So condition of max width to be 1000 pixel. Or what did I do wrong? Oh, maybe.
Well, that's the condition.
Right.
Empty is on the inside, yeah. So the condition goes in the parentheses, max width.
Yeah, 1 sec. And then like that, I guess. Yeah, okay, cool. Right, so copy and paste your whole sky class along with all of its properties. So I've copied that. Value into the cool. So I've copied the sky class over here in media. Right. So now in the sky class of the media query, change the two FFC F33 colors to CCC. And to 445. And the BB to night.
Oh.
Add a root selector to the top of your media query. Then redefine all of the building color variables to use the value 000 there. So let's just have a look. Well, how many building color variables have I got? I got this. So I'm just going to copy that. And then I'm going to go into, so I've wrote root. And then I need to write that. Building color. And then I need to give it a 000 variable.
Your root needs to have a colon. That's why you're not seeing any effect. Instead of a dot, a period, you need a colon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is our class. So.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
All right. Lastly, in the root selector of your media query, redefine all of the 4 window color variables to use 777. When you're done, resize the window and watch it go from day to night. Variables are primarily used with colors, and that's how you use them here. But they can all be given any value and used on any property. Project looks great. Okay, so in the root selector, redefine all of the window color properties to use 777. Just gonna copy all the window color properties. Saves me typing a little bit. So we need 777. All right, and that
Very
was it.
cool.
Oh, that was a long one. Knackered after that, actually. Yeah, just like so many different things. So we'll see. I'll have a chat with Connie, and then we'll see where we get to the next. But yeah, thanks for joining for this video. It's been great to basically show the CSS variables by building a skyline, and we'll continue on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye for now.